Rev up your engines. It's a Hyundai Palisade. It's the first one they ever made. 2020, so it's got some mileage on it. It's the original owner, and I'll tell you the truth about these things from what he's done and from what I've seen. Still a beautiful looking vehicle, 4 years old. Doesn't have any rust or anything on it, even though it's up north in Rhode Island. Now everybody knows I'm down on Hyundais. Well, this guy bought this new. It's got 78,000 miles. The engine does not burn oil. Now it is a 2020. You notice they had to recall a bunch of the 2024s because the valve springs broke on the engines, which of course destroys the engine. Not the greatest thing. And some of the early ones would burn oil, but this particular engine, the 2020, doesn't. It doesn't burn any oil. It's been a good vehicle for him. The transmissions work fine. Now it comes with the Hyundai 10-year, 100,000 miles drivetrain. And speaking of that, the drive shaft had to be replaced under warranty. That broke, but I mean, it was under warranty, so there's a Hyundai technical service bulletin for that, about how the self-leveling shocks have a problem of rattling noise because this part here, the rubber part, breaks inside and it starts rattling. These are the parts you have to replace. Now Hyundai knows this, but they're not going to fix this car for free on this because that's the suspension system. Technically not part of the drive system. If he wants to get rid of the noise, he's going to have to replace this. It's a rattling noise. It's not anything dangerous. It's just that the insulator's going so it clunks at times. So if you don't like the noise, you replace it. If you didn't, you could drive it that way. It's not going to fall off or anything. But kind of interesting that they have a technical service bulletin telling you what's wrong, but they're not going to fix it for free. No, he likes the size. He can fit his family in there. He says his sons, but his sons are 30s and 20s. They're rather big. You can see the seats have held up pretty good. They're very comfortable. And even back, there's tons of room in this thing. He's got the back seats folded down for more cargo. You got another set of seats. Fancy dual sunroofs. One here and one in the back. But of course the most important thing is under the hood. The engine and the transmission. Now the engine is a GDI V6 engine. Time and chain. It averages 23.5. It can get 25 or 26 if you drive 60 miles an hour on the highway. It's a big, heavy vehicle, and that's pretty much par for the course. You're not going to get phenomenal gas mileage in a gigantic vehicle, just the way that they go. And of course, this is real. This is what the guy actually gets. Because, for example, years ago, Lexus gave me an SUV, and it was rated at 36 miles a gallon on the highway. I got like 24, and I had it on cruise control. So you can't believe any of the figures the companies give you. This is his actual figures, what he actually gets. And that kind of gas mileage is pretty much what you're going to expect with a vehicle of this size. It's all-wheel drive. He's had no problems with that whatsoever. Now, it's got a Hyundai made and designed 8-speed automatic. This isn't some crappy Nissan-made Jatco transmission. Some people complain that the shift weird going up hills, but he said he's had no problems at all with that. A lot of that software, they can change the software, they can upgrade stuff. It's a pretty decent transmission. That's one of the reasons it can get like 26 miles a gallon on the highway. If it had a 4-speed, it'd get a lot worse than that. Now, he's got all-season tires and all-wheel drive. He said it's really great in the wet, but he doesn't put snow tires on it in the winter. It works perfectly fine, the all-wheel drive system, because decent all-season tires that he's got on it. Came with Bridgestones, but he put Michelins on it, and he really likes the Michelins. Now, you pay more for the Michelins, but if you don't mind, you really get your money's worth. I got Michelins on my wife's Lexus, and she loves it. It handles perfectly fine. We don't put anything on them in the winter, but then again, we're in Tennessee, and it really doesn't snow all that much. But on the Northeast, hey, you get a good all-season tire like this from Michelin, you don't have to mess around with snow tires. They do plow the roads after all, you know? Really, this is not an off-road vehicle. So maybe somebody will take it off-road, but that's not what it's meant for. I'll never forget the guy I saw with a BMW all-wheel drive SUV when I went to Moab, Utah. He just came off the bottom of the canyon on a dirt road. It's covered with dirt, and they were opening the trunk, and the wife was rearranging her wardrobe that was hanging on the back. And I said, "You came from down there?" And he said, "Yeah." And she said, "Yeah, and that's the last time we do that, too." I gotta say, it's held up pretty good so far. So let's hook up my computer and see if I missed anything. So we'll get out my fancy scan tool here, do some diagnostics. We'll do auto VIN. And while it's working, nice integrated dash and display panel's not sticking up. It flows with the rest of the car. Got your nav map. I mean, everybody uses their phones anyways. You can mess around with the all-wheel drive system like no tomorrow. You can do comfort, EZ Comfort. You can do sport. You can do snow for snow. So let's face it, I'm going to put it in sport because I want to see how zippy it is. Got a lot of storage space. Nice armrest, very comfortable seats. Palisade 2020, 3-liter GDI, and it's getting ready to diagnose everything. We can do a topology scan. Gonna go through the whole thing. Beautiful black and chrome interior, my favorite colors. All kinds of room in the back. You can turn all the special collision avoidance things on or off, traction control. Now it's going through pretty fast. It's found 3 trouble codes, but they are all unit body control module. Let's see what those codes are. Rear center left sensor, rear center right sensor, rain sensor module fault, the rain sensor. Well, a lot of those crazy things, you never expect them to last all that much anyways. The rain sensor, so if it rains, the wipers turn themselves on. Hey, I mean, really? Turn them on yourself, look. Not that hard. What is a sensor for the parking assistance system? Truthfully, you can live without these systems, but if you want, you could take it to a dealer, a high-level mechanic. They could replace the sensors. They'd have to recalibrate them, blah, 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 blah. That's the problem with all this high-tech stuff. When it breaks, it costs a fortune to fix, and I'm not really convinced that these parking assistant things work all that well anyway. But he did notice in the back, you could hear something ticking, so if he had those sensors changed and recalibrated, it would, in most cases, fix the problem if you want to spend that kind of money. So let's start her up. And we will check some interesting live data here. Black's good, red's bad, voltage is good, state of charge of the battery is 79%, not bad. Consider that's a 4-year battery. Most batteries are shot after 4 years, so in this case the Koreans are putting decent batteries in them. You plug it through, everything's good so far. The correction is almost nothing. You can see it's 1, 0.4, 0.1, and that is 8%. So the worst it is 1% off, then minus 2%, then plus 0.4%. So really, it's running pretty close to 100% perfect on air fuel ratio. Even though it's got 77,584 miles on it. Do some more, see if anything else is odd. Knock control 0, the engine's not knocking, not gonna surprise that. Emission misfires, none, 0 misfires. It's running like a top. Higher pressure injectors, higher voltage. You can see the injector itself is using 64.5 volts through a transformer, because of course it's a 12-volt system. Firing pulses of the fuel injectors, because you can see they can have different pulses. That's the main thing about GDI fuel injection. It doesn't just spray fuel once and then fire it. It can do it multiple times to work the most efficient way. Realize the flame travels takes a while to get down, so you burn some of it and then inject some more and burn it. It's more efficient. Everything else is good, so let's take it for a spin. Now we can see we got a good backup camera, right? But it's a lot more than that. Look, you get a top view, you get the 2 sides in case you're next to a curb. You can change the brightness, whatever. So we'll do side to side and backup. First we got to turn off the parking brake. It's not automatic. Some of them are automatic. This one isn't. It's hiding over here. There, it's electronic, but it's hiding over there. Now it's off. And as we can see, you get the top view so you can follow the side, and you get the side views. So in this case, you don't run over the grass. I really don't care, but let's say it was a curb. See, it's warning me about the grass now. Now, this thing's 4 years old, 77,000 miles. We're on these horrible bumpy roads, and it rides good, but I can hear the little clunking in the back of those bushings that has the TSP. There it goes. It's clunking a little, so if you don't like that, you're gonna have to replace those at your own cost, because it's a TSP, but it's not a recall, so Hyundai says you got to pay for that. Now let's try comfort, see if it makes a difference. It's a little more comfortable. The funny thing is, I can hear the clunking in the back now more of that stupid TSP that they have. So let's put it back in sport. Woo, look at that sport. And here we go. Whoa, this thing got some decent get up and go. Smooth shifting transmission, and it's not a CVT. It's an actual automatic transmission. Look, the left turn, you can see the side. Put the turn signal on, you can see if there's anybody on your side there. Let's try the right side. Hey, it works on the right side too, look. The only problem I find with it is it's so captivating with that really high resolution. I spend too much time looking at the side and not looking ahead where I'm supposed to be looking. Turn it on, hey, it's cool. While I'm waiting, I can look at the side, huh? Nobody's coming now, so I can go. And like I said, hey, step on the gas, This thing gets up and goes. It's got some get up and go. It's got the heads up display that tells me I'm going 3 miles below the speed limit. Let's see what happens when we go above the speed limit. Yep, it's got a little warning. You're going too fast. At least it didn't make any beeping noises. I hate it when they make beeping noises. So now you know what a real Palisade is like that's been on the road for 4 years. Hey, I gotta say, the technology, the engine, the transmission, they're excellent. Now, bear in mind that the new ones have valve springs that are breaking on these engines. And to me, whoa, this one, no, it didn't. It's the first year they made them. Hey, maybe they used to make them better than they did already, and that was only 4 years ago, right? Now he's trying to think, should I get rid of it? Should I keep it till I get 95,000 or so and then sell it, or should I just drive into the ground? So I told him, I said, keep it till you get 95 and see what it's like. And if somebody would give you a lot of money, who knows what the future's going to be, maybe the used part prices will still be high. If you get good money for it, take it. If not, I just say drive it into the ground and live with crazy stuff. When all the technological cameras stop working and all that, you can live without it. It's not gonna hurt anything, right? It's a nice luxury ride. It's their only vehicle. They use it for everything. So now you know what you get with one of these things, so you can make a wise decision. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.